Hi, I'm Dave Pokorny, and I'm here with Rick Reynolds, who will be performing his solo piece, Only the Truth is Funny, 2009, at Cinnabar Theater. Rick, how are you?
Pretty good, Dave.
Good. I'm glad to see you're performing again. Where have you been for the last 17 years?
Well, I did Only the Truth is Funny 17 years ago, but then a couple of years after that, 2 or 3 years after that, I did All Grown Up and No Place to Go. A pilot was spun off of Only the Truth is Funny, and I did that, and they had me write a book for Hyperion, and I taped it for Showtime, nominated for an Emmy, thank you very much. It did very well, and then afterwards, I did All Grown Up. That was probably, 14 years ago. And that spawned a sitcom with Pam Dawber that was on the air for a while called Life and Stuff. And then after that, I was kind of a little high up on the little pecking order of comedians in Hollywood, so I got brought in for everything. I read for many, many, many movies, met with all the big, and I was not good. I think I was okay. I'm good enough to act in a sitcom, but I'm not an actor. I'd be famous right now if I could act, because I had every opportunity in the world. I met with Woody Allen, all of these people, right? What I do is talk about myself, and I'm funny. That's what I do. So, after the sitcom's demise, I made a lot of money. I made between $50,000 and $100,000 writing these scripts for TV, these pilots, and I sold like a dozen of those. And I wrote 6 movies, 3 of which sold. So I made quite a bit of money just hunkering down in my house in front of my little computer. And yearning for, I loved being recognized, I loved being noticed. I've always said that I don't want to die an unknown comedian, which is what would happen if I died now. Somebody broke in my house, stabbed me to death. The headline tomorrow, comedian found in pool of blood. And that's what I would be as a comedian, because that's all you are in the eyes of the world, what you do for a living. If you ever open a paper and see a headline like snappy dresser found in pool of blood, bedwetter found slain, that's not going to be in the paper. You're an occupation with one exception if you are famous. If I had done something substantial with my life, they would print Rick Reynolds found in pool of blood. I like that. It's got a ring. Of course, at this point in my career, they'd probably just print man stains carpet. Not enough. Not enough for me.
So when you were at the top doing stand-up, why did you switch from stand-up to a solo piece?
Good question. I was aging. I was getting older, and here I am. I think I'm a fairly intelligent guy. I got my degree in philosophy. Not that that's a big deal, but those are the issues that concern me. I would get together with my friends. We would hang out late at night. Well, like you and I, when we talk about God, does he exist? Are there objective criteria to art? And then I'd go on stage and talk about my wife's big butt. It just seemed like there was a disconnect there. So I thought, what if I fashioned a show for smart people? For people like my friends, you know what I mean? And I didn't pander anymore and also they drink, and they're younger, and they drink, and they're a little drunk, and tips go out, and they come and collect the money, and there's a hubbub in the room. In a theater, it's hushed, and they come specifically to see you. And so it was almost sort of a natural.
Can you tell me the difference between stand-up and the theater piece that you're doing? Because I know there is a huge difference in working in a theater and working in a comedy club.
Right. Well, I've said this many times. An actor, a theater piece, an actor gets up on stage every night and pretends to be somebody else. A comedian gets up on stage every night and pretends to be himself. I get up on stage every night, and I think this is true, though it might sound like bragging, and I'm just myself. I'm totally myself. That's one difference. It's very rare. When a comedian says, I swear to God this happened to me, you think, well, it probably didn't. This is all true. That's one thing. Plus, I'm allowed a lot of room to be dramatic. I take whole stretches where I reminisce about things that actually bring tears to my eyes. So it's very different in that way. Plus, a comedy set is just disconnected pieces, almost always. Every once in a while they connect a little bit. Good comedians do try to find segues to carry things together, but this is a story. It's the story of a man who had this horrible childhood who somehow found happiness. He picked up little bits and pieces and hints along the way. So he recounts this very tragic childhood with some, emotion, and very real emotion. And then it's extremely uplifting at the end. So my character has an arc, and there is a story, and there are long valleys, as I call them. Comedy is all peaks. It's all laugh, 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 which is a great thing. I love comedy.
Now, if I saw the show, which I did many, many times when you were doing it back in the 90s, if I saw it then, what entices me to come see it now? And if I hadn't seen it then, what will entice someone new to come and see this show?
if you haven't seen the show, and I wish somebody else was here, my publicist or somebody, to say this, it's hugely entertaining.
I'll do that. I can say that for you. I saw it at least 10 times,
Wow.
and really enjoyed it every single time. So
that's very good.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, I took some pieces out of the second show and incorporated, and probably the most famous bit, the thing that especially comics really like, and it's gotten like 1 million hits on YouTube, is the prison bit, which I've incorporated into the show, and that's just 8 minutes of pure solid laughter. And then also, I think a really good thing about the show is that, I don't want to color the sexes one way or the other, but I think a lot of men don't like going to theater as much as women. So if you're the husband and you're dragged to the show, it is a show which you will really like. It's not Pinter. It's not Edward Albee. It's not very heavy and tragic things from people's past come up and people are weeping. It's highly entertaining, laugh out loud stuff. So it kind of will please everybody. And if you've seen it before, I took out a lot of stuff. I'm divorced and give something away. Lisa was a big part of my story. I still talk about her now. So much came out and 40 minutes has come in. And it's also been 17 years. I mean, some people go see a movie a year later or 2 years later. Even if it was the exact same show and you liked it, you're going to like it 17 years later. And yet it's changed quite a bit.
Yeah, I watch The Producers once a year. So
love it.
Absolutely.